history of the world continued. 869 AD, Malta captured by Islamic forces. 874 AD, the Vikings begin to colonize Iceland. Burgred, last independent English king of Mercia, forced to abdicate by the Vikings, who replace him with their puppet, Ceolwulf II. 875 AD, Holy Roman Emperor Louis II dies. His uncle Charles the Bald establishes himself as his successor. 877 AD, Charles the Bald dies. He is succeeded as French king by his son Louis II the Stammerer. The imperial throne is left unfilled. 880 AD, southern Italy reconquered from the Arabs by the Byzantine Emperor Basil. 881 AD, Charles III, King of Swabia, crowned Holy Roman Emperor. 883 AD, the Senge rebellion of African slaves in Chaldea, which has lasted 14 years, finally suppressed by al-Muwafiq, brother of Caliph Muhammad. 885 AD, Ashot IV, Prince of Armenia, assumes the title King Ashot I. 886 AD, Paris besieged by Vikings, who are paid off by Charles the Fat. London retaken by Alfred, who gives it and English Mercia to his son-in-law Ethelred. 888 AD, Odo, Count of Paris, elected King of France. Berengar I of Friuli, grandson of Louis the Pious, becomes King of Italy. Rudolph I becomes King of a reformed Burgundy. 890 AD, Alfred the Great establishes an English navy and militia. Harold the First Vineheir defeats his opponents at Amersfoort and claims the sovereignty of Norway. 893 AD, the Vikings are decisively defeated by Alfred's son, Edward the Elder, at Farnham. Asser writes his life of Alfred. 895 AD, the Magyars, expelled from southern Russia, move under Arbad into Hungary. 896 AD, by request of Pope Formosus, Arnulf of Germany replaces Lambert of Spoleto as Holy Roman Emperor, re-establishing Carolingian rule. Alfred defeats the Vikings at sea and ends their threat. 897 AD, Pope Formosus' body is exhumed, dressed in papal vestments, and tried for perjury. Found guilty, it has 3 fingers cut off and is thrown into the Tiber. Sergius III leads to a period of pornocracy in the Vatican. 905 AD, Emperor Louis III, surprised and blinded by insurgents, leading to his deposition from the imperial throne. Sancho I of Navarre succeeds his brother Fortune Garces and makes the county a kingdom. Shaiban succeeds his nephew Harun as king of Egypt, but is deposed shortly after. The Cnut dynasty falls as a result. 907 AD, fall of the Tang dynasty following conquest by Khitan Mongols. The later Liang dynasty under Deux replaces it. The Magyars invade and destroy the Moravian Empire of Weimar, who perishes in the invasion. 910 AD, the Byzantine Emperor Leo VI is forced to pay tribute to the Magyars. The Kingdom of Asturias is renamed the Kingdom of Leon, its new capital. The Abbey of Cluny is founded. 911 AD, Normandy established as a Norse province by the Treaty of St. Clair-Zuid. Rollo becomes Duke. Louis III of Germany dies. The Carolingians die out, and Conrad I of Franconia is elected king in his place. 912 AD, Abdul Rahman III succeeds his grandfather Abdullah as Emir of Cordoba. The Byzantine Emperor Leo VI dies. His brother Alexander II succeeds him. 914 AD, with the death of Pope Lando, no pope until John Paul I in 1978 will take a name that has not been used by a pope before, starting with Lando's successor, John X. 915 AD, Berengar I of Italy is crowned Holy Roman Emperor, the last Carolingian to hold the title. 916 AD, Essex taken from the Vikings by King Edward the Elder. 917 AD, Simeon of Bulgaria overruns Thrace and now controls the Balkans. 919 AD, Henry the Fowler, Duke of Saxony, elected King of Germany. Ragnald the Viking seizes York and makes himself king. 920 AD, Edward the Elder, acknowledged as overlord by the kings of Scotland, York and Strathclyde. 923 AD, Robert of France, killed at the Battle of Soissons, but Charles III is defeated and imprisoned. Duke Rudolph of Burgundy, Robert's son-in-law, is elected by the barons as king. Fall of the later Liang dynasty in China. Li Kunzu of the later Tang replaced Modi as emperor, taking the name Xuanzong. 924 AD, Edward the Elder of Wessex and England dies. His son Athelstan is hailed king in Mercia, but successfully attacks Constantinople. Emperor Berengar, King of Italy, dies. The imperial crown falls into abeyance. 926 AD. Simeon of Bulgaria, defeated by Croat allies of the Byzantine Empire. Hugh of Arles becomes King of Italy after Rudolf II of Burgundy resigns the throne. 927 AD. Simeon of Bulgaria dies. His son, Peter, succeeds him and signs a peace treaty with the Byzantines. Sihtric of York dies. He is succeeded by his brother Guthrum, who is forced to flee when Athelstan conquers York and southern Northumbria. The kings of Scotland and Strathclyde acknowledge Athelstan as their overlord. 929 AD. Duke Wenceslas of Bohemia, murdered by non-Christians led by his brother Boleslav I, who succeeds him. Charles III of France dies, leaving Rudolf II as sole king. Emir Abdul Rahman III of Cordoba proclaims himself caliph. 930 AD. The Black Stone, stolen from the Kaaba in Mecca by the Carmathians, a Muslim sect. 932 AD. William Longsword succeeds his father Rollo as Duke of Normandy. 934 AD. Scotland invaded by Athelstan, whose fleet ravages the coast as far as Caithness. 939 AD. Athelstan dies and is succeeded by his half-brother, Edmund the Elder. Olaf Guthricsson retakes York for the Vikings. Otto I defeats Eberhard of Franconia and his ducal allies at Aldernach, confirming his monarchical authority in Germany. 940 AD. Olaf of York invades the Midlands. By the Treaty of Leicester, much of the old Danelaw is ceded to him. 942 AD. Richard the Old succeeds his father William Longsword as Duke of Normandy after the latter's murder by Arnold I of Flanders. The 5 boroughs of Derby, Leicester, Lincoln, Nottingham and Stamford are recovered by Edmund the Elder. Eric Bloodaxe succeeds his father Harold Efinir as King of Norway on the latter's abdication at the age of 80. 943 AD. Constantine I of Scotland abdicates and retires to a monastery. His son Malcolm I succeeds him. Byzantine troops recover the Mandalay. 945 AD. Igor of Kiev dies. He is succeeded by his wife Olga. Mozambique attacked by Indonesians. Ahmad ibn conquers Baghdad, keeping Caliph al-Mustafa as a figurehead. Louis IV taken prisoner by Hugh the Great, Duke of France. 947 AD. Eric Bloodaxe deposed as King of Norway by his brother Hakon I due to his violence. He flees to England, where Wulfstan of York makes him king of that city. Lichfield. Edred of England dies. His nephew Edward succeeds him. 956 AD. St. Dunstan, Abbot of Glastonbury, exiled from England after a quarrel with King Edward. 957 AD. Mercia and Northumbria rebel against Edward and choose his younger brother Edgar as their king. 959 AD. Edward of Essex dies. His brother Edgar the Peaceable succeeds him and reunites the Kingdom of England. Emperor Constantine VII dies. His son Romanus II succeeds him. 961 AD. A Byzantine fleet commanded by Nicephorus Phocas recaptures Crete from the Arabs. Caliph Abdul Rahman III of Cordoba dies. His son Al-Hakam II succeeds him. 962 AD. Otto I of Germany is crowned Holy Roman Emperor, re-establishing that title. 963 AD. The Byzantine Emperor Romanus II is poisoned by his wife Theophano, who marries Nicephorus Phocas, elevating him to the imperial crown. 965 AD. Cyprus recaptured from the Arabs by Byzantine forces. Al-Mutanabi, the Arab poet, is murdered by bandits. 967 AD. Duke Boleslav I of Bohemia dies. He is succeeded by his son, Boleslav II. 969 AD. Byzantine Emperor Nicephorus II Phocas, murdered by his wife's lover, John Decimus, who rules in his stead. Cairo founded by the Fatimids, who have conquered Egypt. 971 AD. Culan of Scotland dies. He is succeeded by his third cousin, Cnut II. St. Swithin reinterred inside Winchester Cathedral. 40 days of rain follow. 972 AD. Boris II of Bulgaria forced to abdicate by the invading Byzantines, ending the Krum dynasty's reign in that country. 973 AD. Holy Roman Emperor Otto I dies. He is succeeded by his son Otto II. Edgar of England crowned king at Bath. 975 AD. Edgar dies and is succeeded by his son Edward. Modern arithmetical notation introduced into Europe by the Arabs. 978. Edward the Martyr, assassinated at Corfe and succeeded by his half-brother Ethelred II. 981 AD. 984 AD. Henry the Quarrelsome seizes Otto III in an attempt to make himself regent, but is thwarted by Otto II's widow, Theophano of Byzantium. 986 AD. Luther of France dies. He is succeeded by his son, Louis V. 987 AD. Louis V dies. The Carolingians are replaced as kings of France by the Capetians when Hugh I is crowned king. 988 AD. Vladimir of Kiev converts to Christianity, marries Anne, sister of Emperor Basil II, and sets about converting his subjects. 990 AD. William IV of Aquitaine dies, succeeded by his son, William V. Ghanaian forces take Otacost and establish the King of Ghana as the most powerful ruler in non-Islamic Africa. 991 AD. Norsemen raid England. Norsemen raid England, led by Olaf Tryggvason, defeating English forces under Ealdorman. Birthnorth at Malden. They are paid to leave by Danegeld. 993 AD. Khitan Mongols annex Korea. 995 AD. Syria retaken by the Byzantine Empire. Olaf Tryggvason succeeds to the throne of Norway and forcibly attempts to convert his subjects to Christianity. 996 AD. Otto III crowned Holy Roman Emperor by his cousin Pope Gregory V. Hugh I of France dies and is succeeded by his son Robert II. Richard I the Old, Duke of Normandy, dies, succeeded by his son Richard II the Good. Emperor Basil II defeats the Bulgarians and recovers Greece. 999 AD. Boleslav I of Poland conquers Silesia. Gerbert of Aurillac becomes Pope, taking the name Sylvester II. He is the first French Pope. Brian Boru conquers Dublin from the Norse settlers. 1000 AD. Ceylon conquered by King Rajaraja of the Cholats. Stephen I of Hungary becomes king with papal approval. Olaf Tryggvason commits suicide after his defeat by the kings of Denmark and Sweden at the naval battle of Svolder. Eric Jarl of Lade replaces him as king of Norway. 1002 AD. Emperor Otto III dies of malaria, succeeded by his cousin Henry II. Al-Mansur, chief minister of Cordoba, dies. The caliphate begins to decline. Ethelred II marries Emma, sister of Richard II of Normandy, and orders the massacre of Danish settlers in southern England. 1003 AD. King Sweyn of Denmark raids England in revenge for the massacre of his countrymen, exacting tribute from Ethelred. 1004 AD. China pays tribute to the Khitan Mongols as a result of a peace treaty. Emperor Henry II 1096 AD, Islamic settlers arrive in northwestern India. Mount Matrop erupts in Java, killing the king. 1007 AD, Dane Guild of £36,000 paid by Ethelred II to protect England from raids for 2 years. 1009 AD, Caliph Al-Hakam of Egypt sacks the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Caliph Hisham II of Cordoba, deposed by his cousin Muhammad II, who is deposed in his turn by his cousin Suleiman. 1010 AD, the Peace of God established in France by Robert II. Danish forces under Thorkel the Tall defeat the East Anglians at Ringmuir. Muhammad II regains the Caliphate of Cordoba from Suleiman, but is ousted again, this time by a returning Hisham II. 1011 AD, Canterbury taken by the Danes, who capture Archbishop Alphege. 1012 AD, Dane Guild of £48,000 paid to the Danes, who nevertheless kill Alphege before they leave. Thorkel the Tall defects to the English. Persecution of heretics in Germany commences. 1014 AD, Sweyn dies, and Ethelred returns from exile. Brian Boru wins the Battle of Clontarf but is killed. Emperor Basil II seizes western Bulgaria and blinds the resisting native army. 1015 AD, Olaf II succeeds Eric as King of Norway and establishes its independence from Denmark. Cnut invades England, and Wessex submits to him. 1016 AD, Ethelred II dies. Succession disputed between his son Edmund Ironside and Cnut. Cnut wins the Battle of Ashington. Edmund allowed to reign in Wessex, but dies shortly afterwards. 1017 AD, Cnut divides England into 4 earldoms: Wessex, East Anglia, Mercia, and Northumbria, for administrative purposes. 1019 AD, Yaroslav I the Wise succeeds his brother as Prince of Kiev. Cnut becomes King of Denmark on the death of his brother Harold II. 1020 AD, Corsica annexed by Pisa. Faroes, Shetlands, and Orkneys recognize Olaf II of Norway as king. Godwin becomes Earl of Wessex. 1022 AD, Emperor Henry II defeats a Byzantine army in southern Italy. The Synod of Pavia decrees celibacy for higher clergy. 1025 AD, Emperor Basil II dies and is succeeded by his brother Constantine VIII. Boleslav I of Poland dies and is succeeded by his son Mieszko II and reverts to the title of prince. 1027 AD, Robert I sends his son Sweyn to rule it. Emperor Constantine VIII dies, succeeded by his daughter Zoe. Romanus III becomes co-emperor upon marrying her. Sancho III of Navarre conquers Castile. 1032 AD. Rudolf III of Burgundy dies without an heir, and Conrad II unites the kingdom with the empire. 1034 AD. Empress Zoe murders Romanus III and marries Michael IV, who becomes co-emperor. Mieszko of Poland dies. His son Casimir I succeeds him, but the country plunges into civil war. Malcolm II of Scotland dies and is succeeded by his grandson, Duncan I. 1035 AD. Duke Robert the Magnificent of Normandy dies on pilgrimage to Jerusalem. His illegitimate son, William, the future conqueror, succeeds, sparking a succession dispute. Sancho III of Navarre dies and is succeeded in Navarre by his son, Garcia IV, and in Castile by his son, Ferdinand I. Cnut dies. Arthur Cnut succeeds him in Denmark and England, but his brother Harold seizes England for himself. Magnus I, the Good, son of Olaf II, regains Norwegian independence, defeating Sweyn. 1038 AD. King Stephen of Hungary dies, and is succeeded by his nephew by marriage, Peter Ursula. 1040 AD. Macbeth defeats and kills King Duncan of Scotland and assumes the crown. Harold I dies. Arthur Cnut successfully claims the English crown by right of succession. 1042 AD. Arthur Cnut dies. His half-brother Edward the Confessor is elected king, while Magnus of Norway takes Denmark. Michael V imprisons the Empress Zoe, but a rebellion blinds him, locks him in a monastery, and frees Zoe, who marries Constantine IX and makes him co-emperor. 1044 AD. Emperor Henry III defeats Samuel Appius, Hungarians, and restores Peter Ursula to his throne. Anahata founds the pagan dynasty in Burma. 1045 AD. The deposed Pope Benedict IX retakes the throne from Sylvester III by force, and then sells it to Gregory VI. 1047 AD. Norman rebels defeated at Valais-Dune by Duke William, who thus lies secure in his rule. King Magnus dies. Sweyn II, a nephew of Cnut, succeeds him in Denmark, whilst Harold III, Hardrada, Magnus's uncle, succeeds him in Norway. 1048 AD. Last Viking raid on southeast England. The raiders flee to Flanders, which is attacked by Edward the Confessor and Emperor Henry III. 1050 AD. Empress Zoe dies, her older sister Theodora succeeding her. Robert of Humines becomes Archbishop of Canterbury. 1052 AD. Earl Godwin his family returned to power in England. Stigand uncanonically becomes Archbishop of Canterbury, as Archbishop Robert is forced to flee. Beza takes Sardinia from the Arabs. 1054 AD. Final schism between Roman Catholic and Orthodox churches. Henry I of France invades Normandy and is defeated at Mortimer. Macbeth defeated by Malcolm Canmore and Earl Seward of Northumbria at Dunsinane. 1058 AD. Lulac killed by Malcolm III Canmore, who becomes King of Scotland. Prince Casimir I of Poland dies, succeeded by his son Boleslav II. 1059 AD. By the Treaty of Melfi, Robert Guiscard becomes Duke of Apulia and Sicily and swears fealty to the papacy. Emperor Isaac Comnenus abdicates in favour of Constantine X. 1060 AD. Andras I of Hungary, deposed by his brother Bela I. Henry I of France dies, succeeded by his son Philip I. 1061 AD. Northumbria raided by Malcolm III of Scotland. Duke Spilinev II of Bohemia dies, succeeded by his brother Vladislav II. 1062 AD. By the coup d'etat of Kaiserwerth, Emperor Henry IV, seized by Archbishop Anno of Cologne, who takes power in Germany alongside Archbishop Aldebert of Bremen. 1063 AD. Cnut conquered by Earls Harold and Tostig. Prince Griffith killed by his own men. Bela I of Hungary dies, succeeded by his nephew Solomon, son of deposed King Andras. Alp Arslan succeeds his uncle Dogril Beg as Sultan of the Seljuk Turks. 1064 AD. Belgrade seized by the Hungarians from Byzantium. Armenia conquered by Alp Arslan. 1065 AD. Ferdinand I of Castile and Leon dies, succeeded by his sons Sancho II in Castile and Alfonso VI in Leon. Westminster Abbey is consecrated. 1066 AD. Death of Edward the Confessor causes succession dispute in England. Harold II Godwinson, chosen king, defeats and kills Harold Hardrada at Stamford Bridge, but is defeated and killed at Hastings by William of Normandy, who becomes king. 1067 AD. Emperor Constantine X dies. His widow marries Romanus IV Diogenes, who becomes emperor. Boleslav II of Poland captures Kiev. El Cid founds the world's first leper hospital in Castile. 1070 AD. The Order of the Knights of St. John, founded in Jerusalem by Almalfian merchants. Sweyn II of Denmark attacks England, but is put off by William I, who puts down the revolt of Hereward the Wake. 1072 AD. Sancho II of Castile, murdered at the siege of Zamora whilst fighting Navarrete's forces. He is succeeded by his brother Alfonso VI of Leon. Palermo taken by Robert and Roger Guiscard. Alp Arslan murdered by a captive while campaigning in Oxiana. His son Malik Shah becomes Sultan. 1074 AD. Salamon of Hungary, deposed by his cousin Geisa I. Robert Guiscard, excommunicated by Gregory VII, who also excommunicates all married priests. 1075 AD. Malik Shah subdues Syria and Palestine. Gregory VII bans simony and declares the Pope to be absolute sovereign of the Church. 1076 AD. German bishops at the Synod of Worms declare Gregory VII deposed, and Henry IV demands Gregory's abdication. Gregory excommunicates the bishops and Henry, whom he declares deposed. Thus, the investiture contest begins between Emperor and Pope over the right of the Emperor to appoint bishops, who hold secular as well as spiritual power. 1078 AD. Emperor Michael VII abdicates. Nicephorus III elected in his place. 1079 AD. King Boleslav II of Poland, excommunicated by Bishop, later Saint Stanislav of Krakow, who is assassinated on Boleslav's orders. Gregory VII excommunicates Boleslav, who is deposed by a revolt by his nobles and succeeded by his brother Vladislav I Herman, who reverts to the title Prince.